Good morning, children. Welcome back to the online session. In today's session, we shall continue with lesson number 5, substances in the surroundings, their states and properties. Sublimation, properties of substances, brittleness and hardness, elasticity and fluidity, density, solubility and transparency, properties of metals, malleability and ductility, electrical conductivity and thermal conductivity, luster and sonority. These are the topics today we have to learn. Let us start with the first one, sublimation. What is meant by sublimation? The change of a solid substance directly into a gas or vapor without first changing into a liquid is called sublimation. There is no liquid medium in between. You know, in water and all, how? Ice, first it will turn to liquid water. Then only it will turn to, after heating, to water vapor. But some substance, example, camphor, substances that sublimate, camphor, naphthalene balls, ammonium chloride, iodine. In the experiment which is shown, in a petri dish, little iodine is taken, then it is kept on a stove, gas stove. Above the dish, it is covered with a funnel. At the end of the funnel, or the whole tail of the funnel is covered with a cotton plug. As the burner starts, or when we apply the heat to the dish, iodine starts converting to vapors. There is no liquid medium. And that is the second picture, actual particles of iodine seen during the experiment in the laboratory. That colored one, that is the iodine particles. So these are the examples. Naphthalene bonds where we are using in the cupboard, in washroom, and to this insects and rodents, wherever it is attacking, there we keep naphthalene bonds. You can observe, take one camphor where we use for mandir or in the temple and all. They are using, or home also we use, in occasion we use camphor. You can observe that to keep few camphor pieces in an open dish. After 2-3 days, you see, you just observe the size of the camphor. You can see that the size will be less. Next is properties of substances, brittleness and hardness. Some substances break into small pieces or particles. Such substances are said to brittle. This property of substance is called brittleness. Here in the picture, one brittle, even chalk and all, it is brittle. As you write, first teachers are just this breaking the chalk, then only writing. So that property is known as brittleness. Then metals are very hard also. The hardness of a substance is determined by how much resistance it offers to the substances being pushed through it. That is the another one property, hardness. Elasticity and fluidity. Elasticity, very well example, you know, rubber band, you are playing with the rubber band. You take the rubber band, you just stretch it, it will elongate, and after, as you leave the hands, it will come back to the original shape. So that type of property is known as elasticity. Some substances change their shape when a force is applied on them, but return to their original shape and size when the force is removed. This property is called elasticity. Liquids flow downward on a sloping surface. Yes, if you pour liquid water on the floor, how it is running? It is downward, it is flowing downward, sloping surface. That is what is shown in the diagram. That's about elasticity and fluidity. Density, solubility and transparency, that is the next property. The mass of different substances having the same volume can be different. This difference is because of the difference in their densities. in the picture two tumblers. In one tumbler, kerosene is taken, another one is water. Because of the difference in density, even though we are mixing both in a same tumbler, this will not soluble each other. You can see two layers, one water layer at the top, kerosene layer also. That is the density. The property of a substance of getting dissolved is called its solubility. Soluble. You can do this experiment at home. Take one tumbler of water, put 1 tablespoon of salt, stir it with a spoon. Then you just observe, can you able to see the salt particles inside the tumbler of water? No. Where it dissolved, it soluble, it mixed with the water. If you taste the water, it will be salty. And then transparency, other one. If any glass partition is there between two rooms, is when you travel in a bus, mostly the buses are having glass windows. You can see outside view, outside which all vehicles are coming, or what is the scene outside, because of the glass is transparent. From one place to another place, glass is allowing the light to travel. When we look through a substance and see things on the other side, then that substance is said to be transparent. Here in the picture, one girl is looking through the glass window, and she could able to see the on the this sky, stars and moon. She could able to see. That is a picture, transparency. This property of the substance is called transparency. Next is properties of metals, malleability, ductility. What do you mean by malleable and ductility? Metals can be converted into sheets by hammering. Metals are very, very hard, so if you are using your hands or some other substance, metals will stay like that only. With the help of another one, very big thing, hammer mostly we are using, we can make it into small, small sheets. This property of metals is called malleability. And metals can be stretched and drawn into thin wires also. We want wires in many places. In the electrical connection, what we use? Copper wire. This property of metal is called ductility. See here, copper wire. So very thin wires also we can make. The metals like silver, gold and platinum can be drawn into thin wires. So hence they are used for making ornaments. Electrical conductivity and thermal conductivity. Yes, you all are familiar. It is cooker and one pan, frying pan for cooking it. Your mother must be cooking with this help of these two things only. So why we are using metals for making? Because we want to make the food items very fast. So metals will conduct the electricity so fast. That means it is a very good conductor of heat, metals. Electricity and electricity also. Electricity flows through metals. In home and outside also, most of the electrical wires are made up of metal, copper and aluminium. All metals are conductors of electricity to a greater or lesser extent. Metals allow heat to flow through them. This property is called thermal conductivity. Lustre and sonority. Lustre means shining appearance, in simply you can say. The typical shine or characteristic color by which metal can be identified is called lustre. You know that when you purchase new glass or new steel tiffin for you, so how you could able to see your face reflection, that means of lustre, shining appearance. That property is called lustrous. Metals produce a ringing sound. You must have heard that bell is ringing from far away one place. That is because of the sonority. When you strike one metal with another metal, it produces sound. This property is called sonority of metals. Hence, they are used to make musical instruments also. What all we have learned in this two part 1 and part 2 sessions. A summary of the things which we learned in this lesson. Solids, liquids and gases are the three states of substance. This we learned in the previous part. First, part 1. The temperature of the substance, how hot or cold it is, can be measured with the help of thermometer. Heat is the cause of change of state of substance. These 3 points we have learned in the first part 1 video. Now today's substances have various properties like hardness, elasticity, brittleness, fluidity, density, solubility and transparency. Metals form a separate group of substances. Metals have some common properties like malleability, ductility, thermal conductivity, electrical conductivity, sonority, luster and characteristic color. These are the things which we have learned in this chapter. Now at the end, assignment questions. What is sublimation? Write the names of everyday substances that sublimate. List the properties of substances. Sublimation, that is statement, definition and the substances. First slide only given. Camphor, naphthalene balls, iodine example, and the process of changing from solid to directly vapor. That sentence you have to write from the first slide. List the properties of substance directly given in the slide. What will happen if nails are made up of plastics? It is a brittle nature, na? So you couldn't be able to push it inside a wall or some other place if nails are made up of plastic. List the properties of metals, that is also given in the slide. What is it made from? Why? The sheets used for roofing. Mostly roofing aluminum sheets are used. The handle of cooker is made up of plastic. Why? That's about the assignments. Thank you. Stay safe. Have a nice day.